Hi, my name is Brian Victor. I'm the front-of-house engineer for Phillips Craig Dean. I had been using Waves plugins because they're some of my go-to plugins in the studio. When I found out that Waves had come up with a platform to instantiate those plugins anywhere you want to, I immediately scooped that up and started running it. I've got tons of stuff running right now. The C6, I have that all over the place. It's just my utility piece. It basically takes care of so many things. It's more than just a multiband compressor. It's really an EQ combination. And so every one of my vocal channels, my bass, my kick, even my snare, it's just tremendous. To be able to use some of the classic vintage kind of gear, like the PuigChild from the old Fairchild and the CLA series from Chris Lord Algae, which has got like the LA2 and the 3 and the 76. Get some of that vintage sound that colors what you're doing, the inputs, so well. But to be able to do that live is really, really a great thing. With the introduction of SoundGrid, near zero latency, it's just been awesome. To set up the SoundGrid rig, I've got a card in the back of the console, and from that card there's an Ethernet cable going into a switch. And then out of the switch, there's a SoundGrid server down here running, that guy, handling all the processing itself. Then also connected to that same switch, I've got, in this case, a laptop, remotely controlling the SoundGrid server itself. So I'm running my system mains, my stereo bus through this. I run a drum group through it. I run my kick and snare and rack and floor for my drum kit, as well as the bass, electric, acoustics, and then vocals. And on vocals, it's amazing because I can do things with the C6 that I just could never do with a standard compressor or even EQ. And then around the SSLE channel, just some subtle EQ, but it's amazing how great it sounds and the difference it makes. And then just a small amount of compression just to kind of tap at the end of it. And then finally, I'm running into the vocal writer, and it just sort of lets me keep the vocals right in check without coloring the sound like a compressor would. It's basically a fader running in the background for me, keeping my vocals right in place, right between a range that I've preset for them. And so I don't have to chase if a guy gets really hot on the mic or if he gets too far away. I've got it set so it kind of makes up some of the difference for me, so I don't have to make such drastic fader moves on the console itself. I also have multi-rack running separately because I've gotten kind of accustomed to a vocal effects chain that I use, and so I have an interface hooked up, so that's running natively and it's running my effects. And so I've got IR1 for all my vocal reverbs, and then I've got H delay set up for my vocal delay. And so those are running through the interface, and I just go out of the console, regular aux outputs, and then return back into the console. It allows me to totally get the sound that I'm used to getting all the time for all the vocals everywhere I go. In any format, any place that I'm at, I can always get a consistent, reliable sound for my vocal effects and vocal chain. For my mains, I basically run a Q10, 10-band parametric EQ, then a C6 with 2 floating bands that are just awesome, especially when you have a problem in a room, frequency that just sort of gets excited. You can take those bands, those floating bands, and just sort of dial that really narrow in and tweak that and get control of that. And then finally into the API 2500 bus compressor, it just really makes the mix sound great. And because the Waves plugins are so great, it just gives you a great amount of control, a great amount of flexibility, and you can really tailor the sound of what you're looking to get. It lets me be kind of more of the artist again instead of the technical, because I'm able to get the sounds that I want to get. It's all because of the Waves plugins.